Hey guys, today we're checking out these beautiful classic cars and talking to some of their amazing owners at the quarterly classic car meet at SC Body and Paint Skills. Now this is not just another garage or workshop, it's rather special what they do here. So first is Kevin Haggerty to explain all about what happens here.
Right, as I said, we teach apprentices. We do a variety of courses. One is in basic bodywork and repair, which is very popular, a 6-week part-time course. We do the detailing course, and we also do things like we train in electric vehicle maintenance and so on. We do classic car restoration, as many of you know, and some of the working examples out there are cars we've already worked on or working on. Our senior paint lecturer, Ian Sutherland. We do a 6-week part-time bodywork and repair course, which Ian teaches on. Ian also lectures our paint apprentices and also runs the detailing course. Very dedicated guy.
We formed the Classics Club, so it's known as Barnet and Southgate College Classics Club, for classic cars and motorcycles and scooters. In 2017, we've now got, how many members is it? About 66, is it, Morella? Yes. If you're not a member yet, do join. There's no joining fee. You'll get news from us, access to lots of courses, information, invites to things like this, and hopefully we can all keep in touch. And another thing, if you have work done on your vehicles, you get a 5 to 10% discount.
Okay, so this facility, which is I think it's about 7 years old, it was a £2.5 million investment by Barnet and Southgate College, and it's specifically purpose-built to offer state-of-the-art training in the motor industry. As I said, we ran a motorsport team. These are two of the cars we actually use for our track days, where we take you out for the day at the Brands Hatch race circuit, and you drive with instruction all day, and it's all about improving your driving skills.
I've been checking out some of the cars here, and one that's caught my eye is this beautiful Mark II Jaguar here. And I found the owners, David and Louise. I'm going to ask them a little bit about the car. Hi guys, how you doing?
Yeah, we're good, thank you.
Thank you.
This is your baby. How long have you had this car?
Well, I bought this car in 2008 for a significant birthday present for my wife. When I bought it, it was a sad navy blue colour with a grubby cream leather interior. So I had it completely resprayed and a complete new interior.
And then you were I heard you were then taking it to a show, and then something unfortunate happened to it.
Well, yes, I mean, there's an even longer story than that involved, because we had it away in January 2016 for an engine rebuild, and the guy promised me, well, he didn't promise, he said it would be about 2.5 or 3 months to do, and eventually we got it back after 9 months, and we got it home, and it was going much better than it did before. We put it in the garage. The next time we took it out, 10 days later, to go to a committee meeting, somebody ran into the back of it heavily. And so that was our introduction to SC Body and Paint here in Enfield.
And since then, quite a lot has been done to the car, including the engine has been changed, or the gearbox. I mean, do you know what's been done to the car specifically?
Well, the engine is not the original. It's not a matching numbers car. But when I bought it, it had a very clunky Moss type Jaguar gearbox, manual, and we wanted automatic. And I was aware of these kits that were being sold by a company in the Midlands, and we bought the kit, and the people that did the restoration fitted that kit for me. And it also, at the same time, it was fitted with power steering, which it didn't have previously, to make it easier for the ladies to drive. So it's had a number of modifications. We had 4 seat belts fitted in it, which didn't have when I bought it. And
how often do you drive it?
Well, for the first 10 years I was the only one that could drive it because we didn't have a hand operational brake, which David needs to drive it. For the first 10 years I had to drive it everywhere. It was lovely. Now there's a bit of a fight on because we've had an alteration made, which means David can drive it. So now there's always a bit of a discussion who's going to take it out. But it's lovely to drive, I have to say. I haven't robbed any banks, which they're famous for, this model. But yeah, she does go ever so well now and she looks lovely.
One of the things that caught my eye straight away when I pulled up here was, of course, 67 Shelby. Check this out. This is awesome. And I found the owner, Steve. How you doing, Steve?
Hi. Pleased to meet you.
I am so envious. You have got an absolutely legendary car right here. Tell me a little bit about the history of this thing.
Well, I bought this 3 years ago in California. It's a one owner, original colour scheme, big block 4-speed car. It's lime gold, metallic.
One thing that interests me about this car is that you're saying that this is Shelby knows this car and it's been actually done by Shelby. In fact, he's got his signature on the back of it.
Well, the owner was a close personal friend of Carroll Shelby, and the original owner, Les, bought this car back in the 60s and then he used it about 60,000 miles, put it in storage, and then decided to restore it with the help of Carroll Shelby, who obtained and supplied him with all the original Shelby parts. And so we end up with the nearest possible thing you can get to a Shelby GT500, but with the personal, what can I say the word?
Personal touch of Carroll Shelby
Personal
himself,
touch
yeah.
of Carroll Shelby.
Which, since he's passing away, that's so awesome with the signature on the back and everything like that.
Carroll's driven this car.
Amazing.
Signed it.
I know you showed me a picture of it earlier with
Yeah.
Jay Leno and Carroll Shelby. This is amazing. And to drive this car around in the UK since you've had it, have you had to do anything to it at all? Or?
Just a few little tidy ups and things, new shock absorbers, little tune up of the engine. We rebuilt the power steering because it was a bit leaking. But apart from that, it's pretty much as I got it. It's a great car, fully optioned.
And how often do you take it out? I noticed you've actually got stereo in there, so you are using it. And it's got air conditioning as well, and it's got, like you said, power-assisted steering and brakes. How often do you take the car out?
Oh, I take it out probably in the summer months on a weekly basis all the time. Just use it all through the summer. It's terrific. Wherever you go, everyone loves it. Everyone wants to talk to you about it. And yeah, it's just a wonderful car. Thoroughly
Is this
enjoy it.
not a car that makes you instantly a rock star?
Yeah, you feel like rock star driving down the street. Definitely a rock star car, without a doubt.
Another car I couldn't resist coming along and checking out was this BMW Z1. I've always liked these, and I found the owner here. You are?
Philip.
And this is your car, although you're a Jaguar Club member, I've been told.
Jaguar Club member.
Well, there's quite a few Jags here today. So.
But I'm a Jaguar owner a lot later than I was this one.
Oh, really?
Yes, a lot more recently on the Jaguar side.
So how long have you had this? Tell me a little bit about the history of this car, this particular one.
Well, this one was originally registered in France, South France, bought by an English guy who then brought it back to the UK. He decided that he couldn't get on with it back here, and so I bought it back in '98.
And how has it been to run this car on a daily basis? I mean, it's a very unusual car. It's got those trick doors, which are legendary with this thing. How is it to run it as a daily car?
Well, I don't actually use it on a day-to-day basis, but as cars go, touch wood, it's been fabulous. The amount of maintenance needed has just been regular servicing, obviously, but apart from that, it's been extremely reliable and great fun.
And no issues with those doors then?
Fortunately not, as yet. I did actually go on a course to show how to replace the belts. Unfortunately, I haven't actually had to replace one because it is pretty involved.
And these cars are going up in value now, so this is an investment.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't bought as an investment. It was bought for a whole load of fun back in '98. And I suppose it's just fortunate that it has gone up in value.
You can't help but notice this thing when it drove in. This is an original Willys Jeep, and I'm here with the owner. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, my name's John Conlon. I've had the Jeep for 47 years.
47 years you've had this Jeep,
Yep,
and it's a
42 Willys Jeep, so it's the Willys Jeep prior to the Ford producing them.
So this is the real thing. This is a genuine article.
It's the real article, yep.
Did it see action? Do you know?
I suspect it may have done, but unfortunately it was found in a field in Hampshire in the 70s, ironically through what turned out to be one friend knowing another friend, which I didn't know at the time. It was a wreck. It had been in the British Army. There were some plates on it to say it had been rebuilt in the British Army in the 50s, but prior to that, unfortunately, I don't know. I suspect it was in British Army use. Whether it went to Normandy or not, I don't know. But the vehicle has been to Normandy on many occasions, and I've done the Ardennes and Belgium.
So you actually do use it? You tour in it? You take it around to Europe? And
I've been to many of the events in Europe for the anniversaries. Ironically, this year, the 75th anniversary, it'll probably be the first year I won't take it, because ironically I'm going with a friend of mine that has actually rebuilt a Jeep since we were friends.
But I have respect, because you're saying you're driving it on long journeys. It is an agricultural thing. It's not the easiest thing to really drive, is it?
No, I mean, I'm just trying to think. One trip to the Ardennes, that was 12 hours driving through the rain and that. The only problem is nowadays is with the on motorways. You know, you have to be really ideally go on A roads, because it's not quite fast enough for motorways. You're doing 50 and that vehicles are coming at you at 70. So, and you
were telling me that normally it lives without the roof and without the windscreen.
Well, normally, yes. Ironically, I normally drive it with the windscreen down and the roof off. Today I've brought a friend of mine's wife, the lady, and as we were leaving it started to rain, so I've been a gentleman. I put the roof up, and that probably hasn't been up for about 5 years. So.
Oh wow. And so you must get a lot of looks on this thing, a lot of salutes, I reckon.
Yes, most people are they're in awe of it. They sort of take a second glance when you pass. They look back again, thinking it's a Jeep, you know, because it's a very classic vehicle and very usable. I mean, I use this quite a lot around London because, you know, I've got a garage, lucky enough, and I can park it in the garage, so it's no problem. Because it's like an everyday car sometimes.
Check this out. This is a JDM legend, and I'm here with Ray Max, who is, well, pretty much the founder and who runs the Afro-Caribbean Classic Register, and this is his car. Wow, Raymond, this is Ray Max. This is fantastic. How long have you had this car?
About 3 years now. Yeah, about 3 years, I think. It's a 260Z. Unfortunately, it's not a 240, but it's a 260. But it's, I don't know, I love it just as much as anyone would love their 240, I guess.
I can see that just from the way you've presented it today, because it looks absolutely pristine. How much have you had to do to this car?
I haven't actually done anything to it yet. There's after the end of the classic show season, then it's going to go in to get some work done, but I haven't done anything to it in the 3 years I've had it, apart from drive it.
And finally, we are checking out a Ferrari here with the owner, Paul. This is your car. Tell us a little bit about what this is.
Well, it's a 1978 Ferrari Dino 308 GT4. They made around about 3,000. The production figure was 3,000. Designed by a company called Bertoni, a styling house, Bertoni, and it was that typical wedge-shaped car of that.
That's right. It's very different from the regular Ferraris, which is sort of the Pininfarina type curvaceous things. Yes. This was a very angular, wedgy-shaped car.
Yeah, when they first came out, they wasn't that desirable because everyone liked the lines and the curvaceous shape of the old ones. But you know, they've got a bit more following now because it's of its day.
So it's coming on now, and I think it's becoming a bit of an investment. Tell me, how long have you had this car?
I've had this for 7 years, about 7 years. I found it was a bit of a wreck, and I got to work on it myself. I did lots of the welding on it myself and the preparation, but I didn't have the facilities to do it, carry on myself, so they did the final restoration. Yeah.
So that was all done here at SC Body and Paint.
Yeah.
And so is this your first Ferrari?
It is indeed, yeah. This is basically quite a small car for me, really, a low car. You know, I've got an old German car, Borgward, and it's a nice car, but this is quite a new thing for me. I've got to sort of basically learn how to drive a Ferrari now.
So was that a dream for you to own a Ferrari, and this is a fulfillment of that?
Yes, it was a bit of a dream, really, yeah. And especially when I saw it in the condition it was, I just kept thinking it's going to be so nice when it's done, you know, so... I'm lucky to have it, really.
I've had an amazing day here looking at some incredible cars and talking to some fascinating people. Kevin, you were instrumental in putting this event together. How do you think it went?
I think, as always with classic car events, it always goes well because they all love the cars. They're very enthusiastic. I mean, this was supposed to start at 10:30. They all turned up at 10. But I'm really, really happy because they all love cars. They're meeting other people who love cars, and that's what this is all about.
And this event is also about telling people what actually goes on here and what they can take advantage of the facilities here. What's your message to everybody here?
I think the message here is that working on classic cars is the buzzword these days, because classic cars are kind of like, especially with electrification and all of that, people are loving classic cars and getting into them more and more. So I would say the message is get involved with a place like this, because this is where people with classic cars go, and this is where they have the work done, because they're all enthusiasts, and it's actually like the cars first and money second, if you know what I mean. People just love them and they love the atmosphere. So to me, this is a place to come if you really want your car done and done well.
So how can people find this place? What is the way to get in touch with you? And when's the next event?
Okay, so it's up at Baird Road in Enfield. The next event will be in about 3 months' time, so May, June, July, sort of end of July, beginning of August. And in terms of, all you need to do is Google SCBP, Southgate College Body and Paint Skills. You'll see all the information there, and I'm sure as an organisation would welcome any interest.
Perfect. I'll put the URL on the screen.
Yeah,
Thanks so much.
you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Cheers. Thanks
See you
very
again
much.
soon. And
Thank
stay tuned. We'll be doing a lot more stuff soon.